G'day all, I'm Graham Sanders and I live at Townsville, North Queensland. That's where latitude 19 crosses the east coast of Australia. This is the entrance to one of the Clypearis hives. You can see they're starting to build the external tunnel. But we're here to discuss another method of propagation. That's not the brood bump method, it's the brood lift method. Since this hive and this hive, over there, are successful, I'm going to start a third hive by the brood lift method. And if you're not familiar with the brood lift method, the method is basically starting a mini hive with a small amount of brood and food and then babying it up. It's going to be started, I've emptied this hive out, it's going to be started in this hive, and we'll show you more as we go through it all. So the first stage is just to show you what I'm going to do, because in the morning, I'll be doing this before daybreak to avoid bees flying around, but I'll show you what I'm going to take out of this hive, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to take out of this hive. And this is the hive where I'm going to do the brood lift method. I'm going to be taking that small amount of brood down there and putting in another hive, because I've got an advancing front and a heap of brood here in this hive. So this hive is away, not a problem. It can afford to lose this little bit of brood, but the queen cell I've got to get from elsewhere. Now in this hive, what I plan to do is, if you look there, you can just see two queen cells. They built those queen cells straight away, but I'm going to pick those queen cells off and use those in a brood bump. And I might just take a bit of stores as well to chuck in there, and we'll start a mini hive with this stuff and see how we go. Okay, so I've done the brood lift as described, and this is the stronger box. So what I've done is I've moved the brood lift box to its location, and as you can see there, lots of workers coming back, and all I'm doing here is using the workforce from this wooden hive that forages. I'm having them come in mass to stock up and just build up the numbers of bees in this box to be able to do work inside this box, because there wouldn't be many workers from a small amount of brood, about the grapefruit side of brood, and two queen cells. So I'm going to let these workers just mass in there, and then I'll seal it up for a week. Okay, it's 3 days later. This is the hive in question. You can remember the front. Well, I've closed it off, as you can see there. So round the back, there's a matchbox for reference. It's those bottom two chambers that has the small amount of brood and queen cell. And let's see if we can get this. You can see the plastic cover down here. So if I put this at a certain angle, you can see the amount of brood. If you look up to the far left, you can see the two queen cells. So I'll flash the light around. See, one of these pictures will come through clear enough. Whoa, that's too bright. Whoops. But you can see the queen cells on the far right. You can see there's new and old cells there. The number, I don't know, 20 to 30 cells by the looks of it. Tiny amount of stores. And you can see the bees walking around that I recruited from the foragers out there. This is the hive I'm attempting to start. Whoop.